After a first-round exit from the 1991 playoffs, the Milwaukee Bucks would go on to struggle for most of the 1990s. They posted losing records during the 92, 93, and 94 seasons. This would change during the 94 NBA draft, however, when the Bucks received the first overall pick and selected Purdue forward Glenn Robinson. Robinson would shine during his rookie year, averaging 22 points per game and making the All-Rookie team. Despite Robinson's progress, the team posted losing records during his first couple of years with the team. The direction of the franchise would shift during the 1996 draft when the Bucks traded the 4th overall pick in the draft, Stephon Marbury, to the Minnesota Timberwolves in exchange for UConn guard Ray Allen. Allen was quick to make an impact and gave Bucks positive hope moving forward. During the 1998 NBA draft, the Bucks would prove to make a costly mistake when the Bucks traded German big man Dirk Nowitzki to the Mavericks for Michigan big man Robert Traylor. Traylor would spend just 2 seasons with the Bucks, appearing in only 93 games and averaging 4 points per game. Despite the major draft blunder, the Bucks would secure the 7th seed in the 1999 season, losing to the Pacers in the first round. The Bucks would go on to make the playoffs again during the 2000 season, behind the strong play of Ray Allen, Glenn Robinson, and Sam Cassell. The team would fall victim yet again to the Pacers, however, losing 2 games to 3. The Bucks reached their peak in the 2001 season with a record of 52-30, their best in 15 years. The Bucks would lock a 2 seed and sweep the Magic, then go on to beat the Hornets in 7 exciting games.
Robinson to the front court, running three-pointer, good!
However, time would run short as the Bucks would lose to the league MVP Allen Iverson and the 76ers in 7 hard-fought games. Following their Eastern Conference Finals appearance, the Bucks headed into the 2002 season with more momentum than they had in a while. Unfortunately, the team collapsed late in the season, losing 16 of their final 22 games. This fallout created tension between players and coaches, resulting in the trade of Glenn Robinson for Tony Kukoc. The Bucks fall-off would continue over into the next season when the Bucks made a questionable trade to send Ray Allen to the Supersonics for 34-year-old Gary Payton and Desmond Mason. The Bucks still managed to make the playoffs, but lost in the first round to the New Jersey Nets. Later that offseason, Sam Cassell would be traded to the Timberwolves, and Coach George Karl's tenure came to an end. Throughout the 2004 to 2009 seasons, Milwaukee would struggle, only making the playoffs twice, losing in the first round both times. Michael Redd, the 43rd pick of the 2000 draft, developed into an all-star, becoming the face of the franchise. During this time, the Bucks would also be rewarded with the first pick of the 2005 NBA draft, selecting Andrew Bogut. In 2009, the Bucks would see a turnaround starting with the NBA draft, where they selected Brandon Jennings. With Bogut and Jennings averaging 15 points per game and the improved play of Ersan Ilyasova, the Bucks finished with a 46-36 record, good enough for the 6th seed in the 2010 playoffs. Just weeks before the playoffs, however, Bogut would sustain a broken arm. This loss would attribute to the early exit in the playoffs by the Hawks in 7 games. Bogut would continue to struggle with injuries in the coming seasons, and during the 2012 season, Bogut and Steven Jackson were traded to the Golden State Warriors for Monte Ellis, Ekpe Udoh, and Kwame Brown. During the shortened 2013 season, the Bucks would post a 38-44 record, finishing 8th in the East. They were quickly swept by the eventual back-to-back NBA champion, the Miami Heat. Before the 2014 season, the Bucks would change franchise history by selecting Giannis Antetokounmpo with the 15th pick in the 2013 NBA draft. Milwaukee would also trade Brandon Jennings to the Pistons for Brandon Knight and Chris Middleton. Although the 2014 season would prove to be a pivotal year for picks and trades, the Bucks finished last in the NBA with a 15-67 record, the team's worst in franchise history. In the 2015 offseason, the Bucks secured coaching rights for Jason Kidd. Milwaukee's play would improve that season. However, on December 15th, the Bucks would lose expected superstar Jabari Parker to a season-ending knee injury. Later in February, the Bucks acquired Rookie of the Year Michael Carter-Williams for several other players. Finishing with a record of 41-41, the Bucks were able to lock a 6th seed, but eventually fell short to the Chicago Bulls in 6 games. The 2016 season would see the Bucks fall to the bottom of the Eastern Conference again, with a lackluster record of 33-49. Although the season was a setback, there were a few bright spots that shined through. Milwaukee would take part of ending Golden State's record-winning game streak of 24 games, and Giannis recorded 5 triple-doubles towards the end of the season. In the 2017 offseason, Giannis and the Bucks agreed to a 4-year, $100 million deal, while still seeking young talent, drafting Malcolm Brogdon and Thon Maker. The 2017 season was filled with ups and downs. Middleton tore a hamstring in practice, causing him half the season, while Giannis would start to unleash his superstar status, securing his first All-Star appearance as a starter. On February 8th, Chris Middleton would return to the roster as the Bucks faced the Miami Heat. That same night Middleton returned, Jabari Parker went down with an ACL tear, which was his second tear in just 3 seasons. Despite the heavy blow to the Bucks roster, Middleton's return ignited a spark in the Bucks' play, leading them to the playoffs. The Bucks grabbed the 6th seed in the playoffs, but would lose to the Raptors in 6 games. In January, during the 2018 season, Jason Kidd would be fired with a mediocre record of 23-22. The Bucks would finish the season with a winning record, going 44-38, and lock a 7th seed in the playoffs. The Bucks would battle with the Boston Celtics.
Who's going to get the shot here? Gets it in. Middleton for the tie. Oh!
But lost in 7 games. The 2018-2019 Bucks season was their best of the modern era. The team won 60-plus games for the first time since 1981 and ultimately secured the 1 seed in the Eastern Conference playoffs. The Bucks got off to a hot start during the 2019 postseason, sweeping the Pistons in 4, their first playoff series win since 2001, and then defeating the Celtics in 5 during the Eastern Conference semifinals. They would, however, end up falling to the eventual NBA champions, the Toronto Raptors, in 6 games. All of this brings us to now. The Bucks head into the 2019 offseason with plenty of reason for optimism. Giannis Antetokounmpo is just 24 years old and is positioned to be the superstar of the NBA moving forward. In order to keep Giannis interested in staying in Milwaukee long-term, however, the team must build a core roster around him that gives him a chance to contend for NBA titles year in and year out. At the moment, the team's second-best player, Chris Middleton, appears set to test free agency waters this summer, with important role players Brook Lopez and Malcolm Brogdon following suit. The Bucks front office will no doubt have their work cut out for them this coming offseason, but if they can pull their weight and keep a solid core roster around Giannis, the future could look very bright in Milwaukee for years to come.
Ball hard like I'm Lonzo. Seen her money with my eyes closed. She calling out, she wanna FaceTime. She get my name, she like Pasto. Work hard every day, I'm making nobody.